Is Cockroach Janta Party ethical? Now let's discuss the bare facts. The name cockroach emanated from the remark of a very senior judicial officer who said that those students who are unemployed or who are not working, they are cockroaches. Somehow it hit someone or might have hit many students, and one of them thought of starting a Cockroach Janta Party. Now, the Cockroach Janta Party got massive response, nearly 20 million responses, and immediately it turned into a movement. So, we can ask whether this movement was ethical. Now, from the perspective of the leaders of this movement or the students who are the parts of this movement, we can say that addressing the unemployed students as cockroaches can never be ethical. And in this age of social media, the remarks can be twisted, and intentions can be modified, not in favor of someone making the remark, but in favor of those against whom the remark is being made. So, overnight, this party was formed, and its leader, Abhijit Dipke, whose handle got a massive support, he said, we will start a movement against the education minister, during whose time the question paper leak for medical exams led to 20 suicides. Now, these 20 suicides for a civil society. Agreed, India is a massive democracy and we have 1.4 billion population. So you may not care for 20 people, but then you should be sensitive to at least a life. 20 kids. Think of the family whose kids committed suicide. So the perspective has to change. The government has to think from the perspective of the families whose children. Now, most of these children must have been from the very poor class, and the news that the question paper leaked, or they could not get into the medical exam, they had to sacrifice their opportunities, could have led to the suicides. Now, the proper response of the government should have been to immediately get in touch with those families, because the government is a massive organization. They have massive resources. They could have got in touch with the students' parents. I'm not sure whether they got in touch or not, and reassured them that this failure will not be repeated. But the government probably didn't do other than taking steps to ensure that in future nothing of this kind happens. But this was not sufficient. Now, coming to the core question, is ethical Janta Party, sorry, is Cockroach Janta Party ethical? Now, in my opinion, if you feel uh, disturbed, if you feel insulted, you have every right to oppose it. And in that way, they are very much ethical. And in initial few days, they did not get any response. But later on, uh, opposition parties and the members of the civil society joined them. So their first step was ethical. And then Sonam Wangchuk, who is well known, he uh, took up a hunger strike. So I think that was also very ethical because he wanted the resignation of Dharmendra Pradhan, and this was very easy step. The government could have communicated and sorted out this problem because the immediate angst was against the education minister. So even here, the Cockroach Janta Party was ethical. Now, the major question is who has supported his movement? Was he supported by unethical agencies, by ISI and handlers from abroad? Now, that is the question to be investigated. And if you immediately dismiss it as something unethical, then people are not going to take it lying down. They will ask you, what is your proof? How do you know it? And you should have published it, their sources of funds, and whether they are ethical or not. So the silence from the government was a major guffaw, a major problem that could have been averted in time. And the initial demand that this minister should resign should have been considered because in a democracy, you have the right to recall. Maybe in India we do not have a right to recall. That doesn't mean you cannot recall anybody. If someone is not working properly and their ministry is failing, that doesn't mean just because you do not have a law in its favor, you cannot recall. So, in my opinion, the government should have considered at least their demand. The problem could have been sorted out ethically. Thank you.